Hi, I'm Jason Carter, and I am sick and tired of not having a voice in America.
And I'm Steve McCollum, and I'm sick and tired of players that don't get their way in college football transferring out with this new rule.
Silence. Main Event Podcast coming up next.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
You have fun at the game?
Oh, yeah, it was so exciting. They scored the winning hit right at the buzzer.
I think he wants to come inside Utley.
He doesn't always go down.
Got a very pure art to that stroke, isn't it? Yeah, it's wonder coffee.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Put your testicles in the C gap.
Welcome to the Main Event Podcast, episode number 29. Jason Carter, Steve McCollum.
Hello, hello.
We thank you for listening, however you are listening. iTunes, Podbean, Spotify. We're also on the social media. Check us out on Twitter at The Main Event Pod. You can also find us on Facebook, The Main Event Podcast. And you can also hit us up in our individual accounts as well.
GestaltProduction.com for all of our networking and broadcasting needs.
And themaineventpodcast.com. And all that stuff. You also hit me up at JaceCarter03 across the board on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagrams.
And SMac McCollum for me.
SMac 500.
Oh, SMac 500. I don't even know what I just said.
He don't even know.
Yeah.
That's Mac McCullum, baby.
Let me look it up real quick.
It's
Wow.
Mac McCullum. So anyways, some big news going on here in the world of sports. We are getting ready for week 4. It's funny, we were talking, Steve, the other day, and Amazon Prime announces that they want to do this all-chick broadcast for Thursday Night Football.
Well, two ladies.
Well, two-lady broadcast. Instead of just having to be sideline reporters and hotties like Aaron Andrews on my Fox broadcast, they're going to be in the booth breaking it down, play-by-play. And we all saw that first Monday night game of the year and how horrible it was because that chick is just terrible, whoever that chick is. So we were like, what the heck is this all about?
We could probably do her some justice by knowing her name, but I don't know it either.
Yeah, I don't know the name either.
Not because I'm being disrespectful. I just didn't know who you were.
I think it's Lindsay or something. I don't know.
But anyway,
maybe.
let's not make
Anyways,
stuff up. We don't know.
we don't know your name.
Sorry.
Old lady who was not very good.
We don't need to go. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, we got there. So this past week they announced Amazon Prime doing this deal, and I got all flustered. I was like, what the heck? This is BS. Like, I tried to comment on it. It wasn't like BS. Like, I was just like, you know what? I think, like, you're in the same boat. Like, how is a girl going to analyze the play that just happened?
No. Well, hold on. Don't take me into your thing, but you say your thing, and then I'll say mine because they are two distinct things.
Well, okay, so I would brace my comments and say, call me old white guy, but I just don't see, I just don't want a girl trying to break down a play she's never ran. And that was my big thing on the, analyzation of the game. I didn't want it. Well, I got freaking, persecuted on Facebook on awfulannouncing.com.
And by me.
And by you. And then I realized...
And by Jesus at Santan Brewery yesterday.
Well,
that's a whole nother story.
That's a whole other story.
But anyway, go.
But then I realized that it was week 4 of the NFL season, and Fox actually had the game, so I didn't have to. I didn't have to watch the all-girl broadcast.
So that's the backstory. So I made my comment about it, but my problem wasn't that it was Lisa Salzer and Hannah Storm, right? Mm-hmm. That wasn't my issue. My issue was who's going to do the play? Who was going to do the color breakdown? I don't care. When it's Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, I don't care what Joe Buck says at any point in the broadcast. He's just white noise to me. I'm more interested in hearing what, Tony Romo and, it would be nice if Witten could do something productive and explain something, but at least they have Booger McFarland there to help out with that. That's what I care about
I think
when I watch
Witten
a
took
football
a step
game.
back this week.
Yeah, it was good the second week.
Yeah.
And this week he went back to just, hey, putting a blindfold on. Hey, you're not going to be able to see anything, Cotton. It was just like, oh my God, Witten, what are you talking about? But that was my point on it, and I took some slack on that too, because everybody was like, "Oh, so they should have a female." I was like, "I don't care who they have in there. I want somebody that can tell me what's going on." Because when you watch it, you go to games with me. When I watch a football game, I'm not staring at the quarterback when he's dropping back necessarily. I'm watching maybe a defensive lineman. I'm watching what the coverage is. I mean, how many times at a football game do I look at you when everybody's booing the quarterback and I go, he had nobody open? Like, because I'm not watching what's going on in the quarterback thing. And you can't get that when you watch television. So I have to rely on like Tony Romo for the coverage that I can't see and stuff like that. And that was my point, was who's going to do the color analyst and help me with that stuff, because neither one of them are color analysts. Now you say it a little bit more,
I might have said it a little bit more sexist, caveman-y.
Yeah. Whereas I was more of, it's not that they can't do it, and I was willing to listen, but ironically enough, but that was the best part of it, was you're loading the game up and everything, and I had another event I had to go to, but you were loading the game up, and I'm like, why are you loading that up? You're going to listen to that broadcast? And you're like, it's the only way we can watch it, because we don't have cable. And I was like, dude, it's on Fox tonight. It's the first Fox broadcast, and like, I've never seen you get so more excited about turning on Troy Aikman and Buck in
I
real
do
life.
love Joe Buck.
I know you do. You're the one.
No, I saw somebody else tweeted out love for Joe Buck the other day, say Joe Buck is just gold, and it's like hot take. It's like, pro, not a hot take.
So
Joe Buck is effing gold.
America, who's listening to this, what I'm about to say is a joke, but it takes two women in the broadcast booth for everybody to say Joe Buck is gold.
Did
you
see? I think the funniest part, Amazon Prime actually had the. They had
they had Andrew Brandt, the Business Insider, on there.
So they actually had, like, on Amazon Prime, you could have watched the Fox version, and there's actually, control where you can use, like, the SAP button.
Yeah, the video,
it said
the sound.
English, Spanish, women.
Did it really?
Well, it didn't say women necessarily, but it said
like,
Hannah Storm and,
like
Lisa Salter. So it was like, it pretty much said, you can watch this in English, Spanish, or women. Which one do you want?
So, like, I know, because I read Peter King's feed about how he signed up for Amazon Prime just to watch that broadcast, and he couldn't figure out how to turn them on. So all of his comments were how he's old and can't figure out basic technology. It was pretty funny, because I'm not a Peter King fan at all. But that was my other issue with it, was when they announced it, they just said that they were the two doing it,
Yeah, like I was like
2 hours later, not Bill Belichick.
Brian Billick.
Brian Billick was like, hey, I'm honored to be on this broadcast. And I'm like, Brian Billick's like a football mind,
legend.
I would love to see him break down plays and stuff like
Super
that.
Bowl winning coach.
And then the next day, Andrew Brandt tweets out, that he's also joining him to talk about business side of football on that. And I was like, holy crap, this is totally interesting to me. But it was all hidden. And all the other, like Bob Lee on Outside the Lines, was like, this isn't a gimmick, and get out of your caveman, guys. And my point is on that is,
it was a total gimmick.
If it's not a gimmick, why did you hide the men and not talk about them until the men tweeted they were going to be on it? And
exactly.
I have no problem. I was willing to pay attention and just see how it goes, because I don't have a problem with ladies talking football or whatever. Because as I tweeted out to Fox Sports 910 when they responded to me,
I get turned on when women talk football.
Fox Sports 910 was like, so you'd be more happy? And I was like, dude, I don't know if they're going to be good or not. I'm willing to listen. I mean, God, I listen to Witten every Monday night, and he's awful. I listen to awful guys talk about football, so why would I want to listen to a lady, whether she knows it or not? But it was just, just hiding it all behind there was what I was kind of having an issue with. Bring out who else is all going to be on there. Don't just hide it and say they're the only two, and then just to watch people flip out about it so you can talk down to us.
Yeah, if it wasn't a gimmick, you wouldn't have hid the men. So, total gimmick. That's what I'm angry about. Steve, what are you angry about?
Well, Jason, so they have this rule in college football that, and for the record, we didn't get a record yesterday because we had a previous event and we ran it short last night. And so we're recording Saturday morning, which normally we do, Friday, so we can do our Saturday picks, which we'll get to in a bit.
Sorry, no Saturday picks tonight. Well, I guess we have
do tonight's games. The top 25 games are night, but we're not doing the morning games. But so college football has this rule where players can transfer now, as long as they don't play 4 games and their eligibility is good next year. So there's this thing where if a quarterback gets beaten out, like all offseason was Alabama, because they have 2 quarterbacks that are studs, right? And Nick Saban has to play this very carefully crafted game, because if he picks one and pisses off the other one's going to leave and transfer. And of course, he wants them both on his team. Well, it happened again this week, where last week Clemson benched their senior quarterback and put in a true freshman, who I watched the game last week, he looks like a stud. His name's something Lawrence.
Oh my
And-
gosh! Not only does he like look like a stud on the football field, the most beautiful locks I've ever seen on a quarterback. Like F off
but-
Fabio. This guy is for real.
They don't look good under his helmet, though. That's what's
Oh, I don't
infuriating.
care
When
when
his
he takes his
I
helmet off
know.
though, and he
It's-
just does that whole
right.
quarterback like,
Yeah.
"What up? Just scored a touchdown."
It's slow motion for you.
Oh my god! It's like, you know, when you watch those movies and the pretty girl walks in the room and
Yeah.
it gets what was that
Yeah.
movie? 902 movie that made fun of all that.
Yeah,
It's all
you're
like,
yeah.
well, she does that all the time. Or like in Baywatch, you know, when
Baywatch.
Pam Anderson like was
Yeah.
walking, it was like, is she going slow motion?
Yeah, you noticed that too. So they benched the senior guy who was waiting behind Deshaun Watson. He got a shot and everything, and they went with the freshman this year because Clemson has an eye on national championships. Clemson's not playing for like this week,
And they barely beat.
so that's
Texas A&M.
That's beside the point. So they benched the senior. That's literally the second he gets told that he's not going to be the starter. He goes, I'm transferring, I'm out. So they even offered to redshirt him this year so he can come back next year and play again because it hasn't been the 4-game requirement. Nope, I'm transferring, blah, blah, blah. So he doesn't get his way and he's transferring. Everybody's excited about it because players can now finally... Here's why it's bullcrap. Today's game, Clemson. Guess who goes out with an injury? The freshman quarterback.
Oh no, did he?
Guess who could have gone in there and played today
Save the
if he
day?
didn't cry like a baby and he could have won his job back? The senior quarterback. And literally, this happened like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. And it's
Yeah, they
just...
barely won 4 points
Yeah.
over Syracuse. Jeez.
So, yeah, because they had to go with basically the third stringer because the other guy picked up his ball and went home because he didn't win. My favorite part of it is...
Good cover for Syracuse though.
Yeah.
It was Orangeman.
But my favorite part about this is I mean, they took away the freshman's helmet and everything and told me about not coming back. So, my favorite part of this is now Dabo Swinney, because, you know, Nick Saban, as much crap as he gets, the guy's a genius. He was able to keep 2-star quarterbacks from one of them from transferring and able to keep it there. Dabo Swinney, obviously not as elegant, right? So after the game... Sorry, I'm laughing already. The head coach of Clemson told ESPN's Holly Rowe, following Lawrence's injury, that he'd welcome Bryant back if the senior decides to return to the program. Like, yeah, we weren't going to go with you before, and you took your ball and went home, but we're going to need you now, so can you come on back?
You might coming on back here.
You can come and play this year. So, I mean, this new college football rule. Like, I get it if, you know, they change coaches and you need a transfer because you don't fit in the new coach's system, whatever. Like, that's the whole point of that rule. And now it's just going to the point now where people are getting passed over for jobs and they're just like, I'm leaving. And that just annoys the crap out of me. You know, I understand he sat there, but win the job, man.
Yeah.
And
just be better.
And if he would have been there today, he would have had 3 whole quarters to prove himself today and have him win by more. And he lost that opportunity because he wants to transfer to.
He could have looked like a
crappy
man
school.
instead of like a bitch.
So anyway, that's what I'm railing about today.
And that's what he looked like. What was his name?
Bryant.
What was his first name?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Kelly. Gotta just make up a name.
We've been doing it all day. I did last night apparently. Announcing over there at the Speedway. So I had one guy's name in my system because, you know, I go through the pits. I look at the cars. Like, all right, cool. I got you. It's like, oh, got you. And then I plug it in. So I really don't look at the names, like the sheets they give me. I just look at the numbers for the most part.
Yes.
Well, I had one guy the entire night in like the Challenge Cup series. It's called the other thing, you know. And then like his wife, I guess, like walked all the way up from the pit grandstands on the far end. She walks into the announce booth and she like holds her shirt up. It was the guy who spun out and brought the first caution, just spun by himself.
Yeah,
Larry Peterson, I think is his name. So she comes up and she's all like,
I'm gonna laugh if you got that wrong now.
and she like looks at me with the shirt and she's like, it's Larry Peterson. I was like, oh, sorry. I was like, well, after that spin, you might want to say it's Don Kessler. You know, because I'm just a jackass.
Yeah. I also heard you say the wrong pricing on the T-shirt in the program. And
That
then
was
you're-
from Jonah. Jonah straight texted me.
And then you're like, well, folks, it's $28. You don't get the announcer's discount.
Jonah goes, hey man, pump these, $5, 25, 27 for both. And he's like, oh, yep, hang on, 28. I was wrong.
It was like hilarious. Like, well, yeah, that's all right. We just make stuff up nowadays, I guess. So, it's like, what?
Jonah makes me sound bad sometimes. He does that to me a lot. He always texts me stuff, and then I get it out, and then he's like, oh, hang on. Because he always, like, he's always quick to the draw, too. So he, like, sends it, and I'm just straight, like, on the mic, like,
yeah, but you
oh, hey,
also...
we got this.
Matt Lundy lost a tire last night, and you were like saying he was somebody else. And I was over in turn 4 filming.
I could not see all the way over there.
And I'm literally over there going, "That's Lundy. That's Lundy."
It was literally the furthest part from me.
And I was in turn 4, so I could see.
And all I see is a yellow car, and even the USAC guy goes, "McCarthy, tire." I'm like, "Yep, Matt McCarthy."
Yeah. So we're all just making stuff up.
We're all just making stuff up. You know, the first night, these 2-day shows with like a bunch of cars you don't
you
see
don't know
all
any of
year.
those guys. Yeah.
You just like they come in and the first night's always the tricky night, and then night 2 is when it like really picks up and stuff. So you'll hear more about that stuff on the Racing with Jason podcast as we got college football going on right now because we are recording on Saturday.
Before we go into that, I mean, we got to touch on. We're not going to talk much baseball today. 0, other than what I'm about to say.
Yankees?
Playoffs start on Wednesday. Yankees are playing the wild card game on Wednesday in the Bronx. They're guaranteed now.
Against the A's.
But season wraps up tomorrow, so we will be covering baseball here for the playoffs coming up here, starting Wednesday. I know it's the American League one because it's in the Yankee Stadium in the Bronx.
The NL is... You just like staying in the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
Well, it's Jenny from the block where it's from there. So the NL is still being decided right now, so there's some exciting things. I know Colorado clinched their playoff berth today. Or yesterday, and so now because they beat the Diamondbacks in 15. Yeah, last night when I left at like midnight, or what time did I leave last night? Like 12:30, 1?
Yeah.
I was like, why is the D-backs game just wrapping up?
Oh, they went 15
They went 15 innings. I was like, this is weird. Like, what time is it? My watch right? So, but anyway, so we'll have baseball coverage for a little bit coming up here as the playoffs start rolling this week, folks.
Looking forward to that. Love October baseball. Anyways, we got some football going on right now. Some college rakes. A couple games since we are recording this on a Saturday that have already finished. Ooh, man, Auburn. Upset alert could be coming up here. Southern Miss only down by 4 in the second. The Auburn.
Second.
Dude, like, that's a big thing.
Auburn, but Auburn's coming off that LSU loss.
And you want to talk about upset alert here. Tennessee.
Yeah.
Only down by 10 going into half almost here against Georgia.
Number 2 Georgia.
Exactly. Good job, Vols. They're playing tough.
So there's a lot of, and I mean, just, that obviously conference play has started, and a lot of these guys are starting with bad teams, so, not including Tennessee, Jason, but Oklahoma's got Baylor, that should be a blowout, right? Texas has Kansas State coming up, which that actually might be a pretty decent game, because, Texas has been kind of rolling the last couple of weeks, but they still aren't, like, great, so Kansas State might be able to pull that out. So, but other than that...
it's 19-0, dude.
So I was listening to this gambling show. You notice how we just skipped over that?
Yes.
Today. And you know what they kept selling, like, to call in? Like, those gambling the gambling things on the radio when I was out getting stuff for tomorrow?
Yeah.
And the guy kept saying he has 2, like, I got 2 diamond things. Call on in today. I'm going to give you 2 diamond picks if you sign up for a 10-day subscription. You know what the 2 games he was selling was?
What?
U of A against USC today, because USC is favored by 3, and I believe that's in Tucson. U of A is by 3. And then Seattle Cardinals tomorrow are the 2 games he says he has a deadlock on who's going to win and by what's going to happen. Now, I feel, as not a gambler, I feel like both of those games are easy to pick, right? So, like, U of A, USC's 2-2, but they have an offense, but they don't. U of A has looked downright awful. But he's like, it's going to be a blowout. I have the secret for the blowout. So I almost wanted to sign up for a 10-day subscription just to see what secret he has, because he's pimping inside info. But this isn't just a Phoenix gambling show. This guy's national. Like, he's got an 800 number. Like, this is
nice.
But why are you picking those 2 games as a diamond level giveaway? Like, anyway,
probably because they do it for each region though. So like they'll have like
but that's what I mean. So that's like the West.
That's why his pick. 2 like that was like his like deadlock for like Arizona.
But he was He wanted you. That's what he was getting you to call in to listen to for free. But then he was saying if you. Oh, that's what it was. So you call him for free to get those 2 picks, which I feel like any gambler would kind of know where to go on those 2, already. But then his whole selling point was the Chargers, because they play somebody good tomorrow, and so that was his whole selling point was, and then if you sign up for a 10-day, I'll give you this better game. And I was just like, since you have a better lead-in on your free giveaways, the 2 games that most people are gonna pick anyway, like they know where to go on those 2 anyway. Anyway, this is a little side note from a non-gambler. Just a little side note. Hey, whoever you were, because I didn't pay attention. Whoever you were, obviously you're not an expert, and I am at gambling, so you should probably listen to me.
Listen to Steve.
Anyway, next.
Speaking of Steve, we got some big games going on today. Hey, congrats, Chase Briscoe.
He did
Finally got himself a W.
Yeah,
that's my
peeling
boy.
out there.
That's my boy. But no, so we got Ohio State, Penn State tonight, 4:30 in Penn State. Lee Corso went with Penn State.
Most people went with Penn State today.
Ohio State, though, 3.5-point faves.
At Penn State, right?
At Penn State.
I can't trust Franklin. Who do you got?
You know what, man? Give me Penn State. That crowd's going to be rocking. It's going to be loud. It's going to be obnoxious. Ohio State, I know they went into this game with a very, very terrible,
Tone deaf.
Completely tone deaf. I don't even know, like, the word for it. Like a lead into the game. Like, I don't know, but
yeah,
that's
their slogan for the game.
Yeah, their slogan for the game was silence.
And then they tweeted out a picture of a football player holding his finger up like, shh.
And this, of course, comes with all the Ohio State sexual assault allegations and wife-beating allegations.
This is the first game where Urban Meyer's back, too?
Yes, it is.
Oops.
Or, no, last week.
Was it last week he was back?
Right? Yeah, should have been last week. No, hang on. What was last week?
No, they had 4 games, so yeah, he was back last week.
Yeah, he was back last week.
I was going to say, that's even worse if that was his first game back. Damn.
Right? Like, you guys. But no, I like Penn State here.
Ohio State, if you're, on a side note, if you're going to want to go to school to be a PR person or something, don't go to Ohio State, because they are effing up their PR left and right.
Well, they might hire you if you suck, Like, I need to go get a PR job there.
I'm actually going with the upset here. It might be more heart than what's actually going to happen, but being at home, it's going to be a whiteout. Penn State is a beast. This is the first big game. I know they went to, neutral field down in Texas, but Ohio State TCU is not a good matchup, and they did struggle with TCU a little bit.
They did.
But Penn State's going to smack them out. I just cannot trust Franklin, but I think he's going to pull it out tonight. Finally, he's going to pull it out.
Let's go Penn State. Let's do this one for Joe Pop. Oh, hang on, that's probably...
No. Yeah.
Man, maybe silence should be the slogan for this game. All right, we also got Stanford and Notre Dame tonight. 7 taking on 8. Notre Dame at home. 5-point faves on NBC. Who you liking?
I'm going Stanford because Bryce Love is going to run the ball like Notre Dame has never seen before, right down their throat.
I don't know. This is one of the... It's so weird, like, Notre Dame's rivalries, right? Like, because they're not in a conference, but yet they play, like, everybody in the Pac-12.
Well, no, the Stanford's every other year they play.
Yeah.
But that's been going on since, like, the 20s. Because they're not Ivy League schools, but they're elite schools or whatever.
So, man, this game, I don't know. Let's see. Notre Dame by 5 at home? That's hard. Like, I think Notre Dame... They don't cover the 5, but they squeak it out. I like Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's offense has struggled the last few weeks against, inferior teams and everything. But Stanford's the type of school where, they'll lose a game like they already have this year. They'll lose a game they should probably win, but, man, they have a Heisman candidate running back there that's just going to run it down their throat. And Stanford is not afraid to play in a loud environment. And I just again, might be heart more than anything, but I think Stanford walks in there and doesn't win it handily per se, but they're just going to dominate the game.
South Bend is going to be rocking tonight, and everybody's going to coaches afterwards. Love it. That's a cool little wing stop out there. 20-cent wings on Thursday nights.
Notre Dame was last relevant.
And $1 Miller High Lifes too.
When was that little short guy that looks like a leprechaun as their head coach? That was the last time they were relevant in the 80s.
Rudy.
No, the head coach. Lou Holtz.
Rudy. That's what it's all about.
Whatever.
A couple other top 25 matchups. I guess we should have went with these ones first, right? BYU at number 20 taking on Washington. In Washington, this is like freaking crazy right here, dude. 17.5-point faves against a top 20 school. Washington is. I like watching that game. They've been on a tear ever since that first loss.
But so
of the
BYU.
Season. I don't know.
BYU is surprising everybody. Like, they're winning. They beat Wisconsin at Wisconsin. They beat the vaunted U of A Wild. Oh, that was okay. That was a joke. BYU, your fairy tale is over today.
Fairy tale is over.
I mean, the
Thank
quarterback.
God. Then we can finally get North Texas in the top 25.
Did you see they're bringing back Mean Joe Green's number for one game for one player, 75?
Nice.
I'd be retiring it for one game.
Nice.
I didn't read the article, so I don't know why.
Thanks,
but I
Mean
just saw the
Joe.
headline. Yeah. So, did he throw the kid a Coke too? Here's your number. Old commercial for those of you too young. But yeah, no, Washington's going to win that one tonight.
And then we also got Pac-12 matchup coming up later tonight. Oregon against California, number 19. Oregon back in the ranking system, taking on number 24, California. California undefeated, but it is Oregon who is favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I don't get why the whole country. Like, I was reading an article the other day about how great Cal is, and everybody thinks Cal's a good football team, except for everybody in the Pac-12 and everybody that covers the Pac-12. And so it's like, why is everybody else respect Cal, but everybody that plays Cal and is going to be facing them is like, they're garbage. So Oregon's going to win this. They're going to rebound from their Stanford loss last week, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to come in there and they're going to rebound and get Cal there, no problem. So. And then that's all the top 25s, but we got to go USC Arizona out here for us West Coasters. I mean, those of us in Arizona, that's exciting. And then California SC fans. So who do you got in that magic one?
Give me SC, baby.
Yeah, I think SC is going to dominate this. Arizona's just god awful. You know, they're 2-2 now, but they played two dog teams these last couple weeks, and SC's just going to go in there and smack them in the face. Although SC's offense is awful, the good news, SC, is Arizona's offense is even worse. So you're lucky there. And then, of course, you got Arizona State and Oregon State. Woo! Oregon State got waxed by U of A last week by 30 points or something like that. So
waxed.
Arizona State's going to win that one. It's not even going to be simple. It's going to be such a blowout. I'm not even going because I'm going to the racetrack instead tonight.
There you go. Having fun at the racetrack. Football coming up tomorrow. Man, somebody in our fantasy football has Devin Funchess and wants to trade. Do you think he's worth it? He wants to tight end.
He wants to trade Stills also.
Well, he said he could do Stills also. Hang on, let me see if I got a tight end. This is some top stuff here. How's your fantasy football doing? I had Cooper Kupp this week, and it worked out pretty good.
Yeah. I almost told you to bench him, so good thing you didn't listen to me.
I know, right?
I texted you, because I was driving to my other thing, and I texted you after, his first 2 touchdowns in, the first quarter, and I was like, you did start him, right? You did not listen to me, right? I actually haven't checked this week yet. I have no idea. But
I should not.
I've only lost
See,
one.
this is my wide receiver league, so I have that league where I'm just wide out heavy, and this one I got Beckham, Watkins, Kupp, Amari Cooper, Deshaun Jackson, Cortland Sutton, and then I also have Christian Kirk as well. So, I'm standing pat. No trades. Anyways, tomorrow we do have some football going on. Getting started bright and early, 10 o'clock in the morning. We got the Bengals taking on the Falcons in Atlanta. Atlanta, 4-point favorites, trying to get back to 500.
Falcons.
I like the Falcons as well in this matchup. You know why? Because you can't trust the old red rifle there, Andy Dalton.
I mean, Atlanta's down 2 safeties and a cornerback already this year.
I want to make note on Andy Dalton real quick and the gingerness.
I like how you don't know his nickname, but you keep trying.
Was it Red Rifle, right? Or Red Rider?
Red Raider? I don't know.
No, I think it's Red
What the
Rifle.
hell it is.
Because he rifles it in there. But no. So last night, the 50-50 kid, his name was Andy, he was ginger, and it made me think of Andy Dalton. Anyways, I like the Falcons too.
Again, folks, that's the insight you get here at the Main Event Podcast.
You don't get that insight anywhere else, all right? You can try. Look around. Ain't gonna happen.
Atlanta's secondary is decimated right now. I mean, they got 3 of their backfield safeties and corners, 3 of them on IR. But Cincinnati, although they played well this year and surprised people, I think Atlanta's going to pull that one out. Yes.
Buccaneers and Bears, both teams 2-1. Buccaneers come off their first loss. Have we heard who's the starter?
Yep, they are holding it. The team knows.
Fitz is starting. They only lost by 2 points on Monday night?
Look. I agree with you. Fitz should be the starter, and they should ride the hot hand to whatever. But you have a stupid diva back there who's going to want to be trading. He's going to cause freaking problems. And Dirk Cutter isn't the smartest coach on the planet. So don't be surprised if Jameis Winston rolls out there tomorrow to start the game. Here's the other side of it that you don't know about. And this is why this game is hard to pick. Because if Jameis Winston's the quarterback that goes out there, you're going to see a team go flat. Because this team, I mean...
They have rallied around, right?
Fitz walked into a press conference with Deshaun Jackson's freaking necklace on, another guy's shirt. These players walked into the conference half naked because he was wearing their clothes on the podium.
Looking studly.
They love this guy. They want to play for this guy. And if Jameis Winston goes out there, you're going to see them go flat instantly because they support Fitzpatrick. And that's the hard part on this. But if Fitz starts, I'm going with Tampa either way, even with Jameis in there. Because Chicago last week, we saw him here, and oh my God, Trubisky is not good.
They're not good, but that defense is great. I'm taking the Bears here in this game. Cowboys and Lions on StubHub. You can get tickets to tomorrow's Dallas Cowboys Lions game for $2.
I say they're trying to give them away.
Try to give them away. I think
it in Detroit or
it's in Texas, in Arlington. They have those party passes, so those things are. I almost went to a game last year for like $1 on Thanksgiving.
Is that where you stand over the platforms?
Yeah, which isn't bad. Like it's a great view.
I'd pay $2 to go there.
Right? Like yeah, super like good deal. Anyways, Lions and Cowboys.
I think $2 is decent value. Like you might be overpaying a little bit.
I think you get your money's worth after a while.
Yeah.
Cowboys are 3-point favorites at home.
Oh, so Lions Matt Patricia show up and beat New England last week. According to Jerry Jones, the Cowboys offense is as good and similar as the Rams offense, which we saw on Thursday night.
I don't see it, but
I know. So I'm actually going to go Lions on this one. I think the Lions are going to do it because, my God, the Cowboys offense is unimaginative and awful. Just pick Cowboys. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's just go Cowboys. I'm a homer. I know. Bills and Packers. Packers 9.5-point favorites. Welcome in the Bills, who just pistol whipped the Vikings last week. Packers trying to get over 500. I guess as they are 1-1-1 after 3 weeks.
Yes.
I like the Packers here. I think Aaron Rodgers wreck shop. I don't think the Bills and Aaron Darnold have not Aaron Darnold, but what's his nuts? Josh Allen have
yeah, I mean, the Vikings just had that thing where they were overlooking them, I think, going into this Thursday night game against the Rams.
Well, I think what we saw also this past weekend is that the Vikings defense is not as advertised anymore.
But yeah, no, I mean, Buffalo comes back to reality here, and I think Green Bay pulls this one out with Aaron Rodgers starting again. Yes.
All right, you got Eagles and Titans. Carson Wentz, his second game, taking on the Titans in Tennessee, but Philly is favored by 3.5. Give me the Eagles all day in this game.
Eagles,
Texans at Colts. Texans, man, still searching for that first win. Going to Indianapolis this week, where the Colts are favored by 1.
Colts.
Come on, Texans.
Houston is awful. You were touting the Texans defense at the beginning of this year, and I've seen less holes in Swiss cheese, Jason. Less holes in Swiss cheese.
They can't go 0-4. Texans are going to win this game.
Bill Bryan's going to be fired after this week.
Dolphins at Patriots. The Dolphins, the division leader, getting ready to go into New England. Not getting any respect because they are 6.5-point dogs. Taking on the 1-2 Patriots.
This is my upset pick of the week. I'm going Miami. There's something wrong in New England.
You know what?
Something wrong in New England.
I had you too right there, brother. Miami. Give it to me. Go Dolphins. They go to 4-0. They stamp their freaking ticket. Tannehill goes into New England. Looks like a straight G. Freaking, who's their coach? Pace?
I don't even know.
No, it's Pace. Ryan Pace.
I don't know.
He used to coach with the Bears. That's why they got Jay Cutler. Yeah, Pace. He's a badass.
The offensive coordinator.
They're going to dominate New England, go to 4-0, and prove that they are the team to beat in the East.
I don't know if I'd say dominate, but they're going to win the game. Because there's something wrong in New England. That team is not clicking. I don't know what's going on, but there's something going on.
Jets at Jaguars. Jaguars 7.5-point favorites. Man, all these games are still... This is the last morning game you got. Jaguars coming off a hard loss last week, and just didn't get anything going. But Blake Bortles after losing is a freaking straight G.
Yeah, what was that
so
stat?
give me the Jaguars.
Like some ridiculous stat.
He has like 99 QBR after losses. Like
I know. But yeah, Jacksonville rebounds this week. I mean, they just had a bad week last week. That defense is going to Sam Darnold's not going to know what hits him. And the Jets have come back to reality a little bit here. They lost to the Browns for Christ's sakes last week, so.
Speaking of the Browns, they are going to be in Oakland this week. Browns and Raiders.
You going to call it? I'm going to call it.
Raiders are 3-point favorites.
I'm calling it. Browns, baby. 2 wins for the 2 in a row.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
I'm calling it.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
I'm on the Browns train. I'm in the Brown Bowl. I'm ready to be flushed. Let's go, Browns.
Love it. Seahawks, Cardinals. We'll be at that game tomorrow at 1:05. Don't forget 1:05 start. Cardinals try to get that first win. They are underdogs at home against a bad Seahawks team.
Type 3.
They're underdogs at home to a bad Seahawks team who last week beat a bad Cowboy team who actually stayed in the game up until the fourth quarter. I'm taking the Cardinals. Josh Rosen has a field day tomorrow.
Here's the bad thing is usually a home team gets 3 points. So if they're on the road, they'd be unfavored by 6.
Yeah.
So, we got Josh Rosen making his first start. He did not look very impressive last week. However,
Bad situation.
You don't put him in that situation. That was my point.
You know.
However, the Cardinals' offense is bad, so it's not Rosen's fault because everybody's bad on that offense.
Christian Kirk looking studly, though.
Did Thomas get traded or no? Did we determine that?
No, he has not been traded.
Yeah. You know what? Heck, let's go Homer. Arizona, even though Seattle could pull this out, wouldn't surprise me. I'm going Arizona in this one.
Boom, baby. Josh Rosen for Prez. Saints at Giants, 1:25 kickoff tomorrow. In New York, there, what do they call that? The Meadowlands?
The Giants Stadium. Well, it's not Giants. MetLife. No, MetLife.
It used to be called Jet Stadium.
No, it used to be called Giant Stadium. The Jets were always second-hand citizens.
One of the two.
MetLife.
Although, I like Jets fans more than like Giants fans.
We're like
I think they have more fun.
Yeah, losing is always fun, Jason. Let's go back. Let me go back on this round.
Fireman Ed, man. J-E-T-S.
Fireman Ed's like one of the most hated people on the planet. You ever read the stories about that guy? Like, the people make fun of him. Fireman Ed is not a hero, Jason.
He's my hero.
He's not a hero at the Jets games. Fireman Ed at the local 76 house in Manhattan's a hero. Fireman Ed at the Jets game is no hero.
He's my hero. New Orleans favored by 3.5. Drew Brees, man, straight G last week. Freaking showing how to get it done. Giants not that good. Eli Manning not that great. You can only hand the ball off so much to Saquon Barkley. Give him the Saints.
Yeah, the Giants are awful. They're playing for another high football pick, another high draft pick.
They're getting the quarterback this year.
Even with the revamped offensive line where they benched the bad guys finally, they're just not good. Saints
Ashley's mom butt dialed me just now.
Oh, well, hello. Hello, Ashley's mom butt.
Hello, Christy.
Why did Ashley... Okay, anyway.
She butt dialed me Ashley's phone. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah,
49ers.
Her mom has your number?
In LA. She asked me on Snapchat, actually. 49ers in LA taking on the Chargers.
That's what
without Jimmy Garoppolo. Chargers 10.5-point faves. Give me the Chargers in this one all day. They're going to freaking shine in front of those 7,000 strong. Can't wait. Yeah. Ravens at Steelers. That's your...
Chargers.
I thought you already said Chargers.
They might not have heard me because you were yakking.
Sorry.
Chargers.
They can hear. This microphone picks up everything. Ravens at Steelers. Big rivalry game tomorrow night, baby. Big Ben trying to bounce back. Of course, they got their first win last week, but Ben did not look that great. Ravens with the Joe Flacco-led Ravens coming in 2-1. Big rivalry. It's going to be some fights. It's going to be some hatred. Who you liking?
Oh, Ravens all the way on this one.
It's in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's 3-point faves.
Don't matter.
I like Pittsburgh, man. I think Ben Roethlisberger is going to get the ball out to old Shoo a lot.
Pittsburgh's drama, after 4 years of drama, is caught up to him. The Ravens' defense always plays good against Pittsburgh. That is a rivalry beyond rivalries. It is one of the best games to watch just because you want to see train wrecks and you want to see hard hits. This is the game to watch.
I love it.
But Ben Roethlisberger's throwing like 900 interceptions this year. Antonio Brown is doing whatever Antonio Brown does. Can't get the ball. And Ravens are just going to dominate this game, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be ugly.
I just need Big Ben because he's my quarterback.
I know what you're doing.
He's my quarterback, so I need Ben. I need him.
Let's go Ravens!
Monday Night Football, another division matchup.
Wait, that
Chiefs.
was Sunday night?
Yeah, that's Sunday night. Monday night is Chiefs at Denver taking on the Broncos at Mile High. Chiefs 4.5-point favorites on the road. Pat Mahomes is just looking like a beast, and I will eat my crow right now that Pat Mahomes is a good quarterback. After 3 weeks, I'm eating my crow, and I'm pointing right now because that's what me and Steve doing here. You don't see it, but we always point at the microphone for some
We
reason.
do. I know.
Like, we're looking at you, we're talking. But I said before the season, I don't trust Texas Tech quarterbacks, and here I am. After watching Mahomes in week 2, I was like, all right, maybe that's just a bad defense he played. But now you see Pat Mahomes, and he is just phenomenal inside and out. And he sounds like Kermit the Frog, which is super weird. And he looks like a straight stoner, which is also super weird too. But I love him. I love the kid. He has great mocks, all right? You can't deny Pat Mahomes. And this game, they're going to go through Mile High, and they're just going to wreck shop. And I hope they Mile High salute that bitch.
Denver's going to win this game. This is going to be the game where Kansas City struggles because they haven't had really one where they've struggled. Last week they kind of did. Like Tyreek Hill got shut down. Denver's going to pull this out at home with that defense. Pat Mahomes not going to know what hits him. Yes, Jason, he has developed into an awesome quarterback. Yes, he's putting up big numbers. Name me the last Andy Reid quarterback that didn't do good and then have bad games and then suck in the playoffs and go out. So just another trend in my opinion right now until it's proven otherwise. But Denver's going to win this at home simply because of that defense.
And Redskins and Panthers are on buys. First buys, man. Week 4 buy, like those. I hate like early buys.
Yeah, how awful is that for either one of those teams? Like, you know, you got to play the next.
You know what they should do?
12 games straight with no break.
You know what they should do is just like week 7 and 8, half the teams get a bye. Week 7, the other half get a bye in week 8, and then just play on. Like, that would make more sense, right? Like,
oh no, what they need to do is go to a 2-bye system. So you have a bye before your Thursday night game, and then you play your Thursday night game, and then you have 10 days off after that. So you have 10 days off, play Thursday night, 10 days off. That's one of your buys. And then you just have a standard bye toward the end of the season. So some people will have an early bye, but it's not going to affect them because they'll still have another one. So later on in the line. So people that play Thursday night early, which generally is the good teams, or like, you know, the Browns, Browns, Jets, that's a bad game, but it was only viewable on NFL Network in some weird platform, so nobody watches it. Like those games there, but that's what they should do is have the 2-bye system going forward. And all that does is extend your season by one more week. What's wrong with that? But there you go, Commissioner Goodell. I won't charge you millions for that idea.
That's a good idea.
Everybody else has.
But not every team plays plays on Thursday, though.
Yes, you do. Every team has to play on Thursday, Jason.
Really?
Yep. Welcome to the NFL. That's been that way since Thursday night. Since they went to an expanded Thursday night game, every team has to play on Thursday night. Do you think they would have a Browns-Jets freaking matchup if they didn't have to on Thursday night football? You think that was the choice game? No, both teams have to play on Thursday night. Every team. Every team.
Huh. The more you know.
Every team. Yeah, welcome to NFL scheduling. It's only 6 years old now.
Well, the Cowboys always play the back-to-back Thursday games because they do Thanksgiving, then they usually do the next Thursday.
My caveat on that is it might have changed. I don't know, but I know that was the rule when it started. So, but I'm assuming it's the same because the problem is you can't have one team play on Thursday night, not other ones, because it is a disadvantage for the traveling team. Hence, by the records. Although we did have an awesome Thursday night game.
This past
the other
Thursday?
night, the first awesome Thursday night game I think we've ever had.
I thought last week was pretty good.
You know, I mean, it was high shoot. I mean, the defenses didn't show up, but it was a lot of scoring and a lot of. I mean, man, okay. Why do we keep? And we can talk about the Cardinals here real quick. But why do the Cardinals and all these teams keep regurgitating the same old offensive coordinators when you have guys like McAvoy? Is that his name? McVay. Yeah, that's Cardinals offensive coordinator, McAvoy. They have McVay there, and then his offensive system, and then whoever's calling the plays in Minnesota, I don't even know. But those guys were like, I was confused. I didn't even know where the ball was going. And I live for that, where I'm like, oh, it's going over the corner. I mean, Jared Goff dropped back at one point, and I thought he was going to the flat with the receiver or with the running back, and he dropped his ball over 3 defenders and in front of another defender, right in his tight end's breadbasket to catch it for a touchdown. And it was like,
That was Cooper Kupp.
was that Kupp?
And
I was
Kupp
like,
actually
who?
said, I thought he was throwing the ball away.
Yeah, I know, yeah. You know, and it's just like, this is just so innovative. These offenses are innovative. It's almost like back when the Rams went all crazy, you know.
Greatest show on turf.
Nobody could duplicate it. But this is why it's interesting, is because, you know, all these teams are trying to go to that system, but you got to have the right players to play in it, because you know, you can't just take the Ram system into another team if you don't have the players. And most teams don't have the players. But yeah, I mean, NFL teams, pay attention. Hire some innovative guys that have a playbook that you've never seen before, because, you know, Cardinals and Dallas with Linehan, and I can name freaking Steelers offensive coordinator and play callers. I mean, guys, it's not working. It is awful football to watch, and these young guys are just lighting it. And I'm not an offensive guy. I love a 6-0 ball game where the defenses just don't budge and it's just a fight the whole time.
Touchdowns.
But yeah, that game on Thursday night, and they were just playing each other, so it was accented. But I mean, when the Rams played the Cardinals a couple weeks ago, I mean, watching that offense and that, I mean, it was just misdirection everywhere. Nobody knew where the ball was going. I don't even think the Rams knew where the ball. I think they just tell the Rams players, be ready for it.
Go out there, do your thing.
Yeah,
Goff is going to sling it.
He's just going to throw it wherever he wants to, wherever he thinks he can, and you're going to have to catch it, whether it's designed for you or not, you know? So.
And everybody who said the Rams gave up too much to get Jared Goff, 3 years ago? Like, right now, that team is they're my odds on, to win the Super Bowl this year. Like, I think, everybody's kind of picking them to be in the NFC title game.
I've seen a lot of people after Thursday night starting to say that they're the best team in football right now.
Yeah.
But here's the problem, though.
What do you want, a Super Bowl, or do you want draft picks?
This is the year they got it. This is the problem, though. They put themselves in salary cap hell for next year and the year after.
Got to do it.
So this is the year they got to do it, because Goff's going to want to be paid. Thursday night, the stat was Kirk Cousins makes, what does he make this year, $30 million or something like that? So and Goff is at $3 million. I saw that stat, and I was like, there you go. But that's why, I mean, Seattle was awesome, where they were only paying.
You got to do it on these rookie contracts,
they were
man.
paying their quarterback, $300,000 a year. They were dominating the league too. Then the second they had to start paying him, all goes downhill from that point. So they got to take advantage of it, no doubt. But that's why they were able to say Darnold and then get, I want to say Butler, but
they got they signed Stills. Stills is actually looking great, by the way.
I'm talking about the defensive. They got all those defensive guys that I'm just drawing a blank on right now. So, but anyway, so those are the picks. Anything else?
I don't have anything else. Ready to hop in the shower, get the booze smell off of me, and go back out to the racetrack.
I appreciate that. You do kind of sting.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, football, baseball next week, and we'll go from there.
Baseball. Oh, we got wrestling. Super Show.
Wrestling.
The Super Show.
Wrestling.
From Down Under. Taker and Triple H, man. Last time ever. Happening tonight or tomorrow morning. We got to watch that for the Ryder Cup. I don't know. Though, those Paris fans killing it, by the way. Did you watch any of the Ryder Cup?
Did you see? I've watched more Ryder Cup than I've ever watched when it came on at a normal time zone. I've watched more Ryder Cup this year when it comes on at 11 p.m. our time here than I have when it comes on at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. on a normal Saturday.
That's so funny. With the Ryder Cup, I literally, I'm on Twitter and Scott Van Pelt's all 2 a.m. He's just sitting there live tweeting the Ryder Cup. Do you ever sleep, SVP?
I was actually thinking about that this morning, because somebody was talking about that, and I was like, I don't think I've ever really watched the Ryder Cup, ever. And this year, I've actually watched most of it. It's 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. It's how weird is that? But the Euros are just kicking. So I saw the stat.
Ass.
I don't have the exact numbers, so don't quote me on the actual numbers. But it's outrageous where everybody on the Euro team has played that course 290 some odd rounds.
Jeez.
Combined. Americans is 8. Like, nobody has played this course. But the Americans are awful. I mean, we had this discussion before. We don't grow up playing match play. We grew up playing regular golf where low score wins. So we don't grow up playing match play. We don't grow up playing alternative shots. The Europeans do.
That's why we got so happy in 2016 when we won it.
Yeah.
We're like, yes, we did it finally.
We don't teach our young players. I mean, we're Americans. We want to win, right up front. We don't do this, stuff. And the Europeans are just dominate out. They get on a team together, man, and they just, go out there and, I saw, and Tiger's awful, and who knows what Phil's doing. It's just like, and the European team's really young. It's all these young, soft. I mean, Rory's playing god awful, but he doesn't have to play.
I want to petition to get the Ryder Cup out here at Scottsdale. Like that. Could you imagine if the Ryder Cup was out here? Like, because Ryder Cup's a fun event to go to. So is the Phoenix Open.
They hype it up.
Like, it's like totally like just for fun. Like, these fans were like sitting there when these guys were teeing off and they're doing their practice shots and they're like, oh, and then like they would swing like, away, like during their practice, and like some of the guys were like holding it up, so they're like, play, and then if they dropped it, they'd be like, boo. Like, I just love it because I'm all about that.
No, it's a lot of fun to watch, and like I said, it's it just happens that it comes on at 11 p.m. our time, like it was, or midnight our time now, being Saturday. But yeah, it was funny. What was that, Thursday night or Friday morning? I text you at like 11 o'clock because I was driving home.
You're like, Ryder Cup. I'm like, I'm watching. all right there, bro.
I was all watching it, driving back up, listening to it on the phone because I was like, Ryder Cup starting. The sad part of that is I got excited because I didn't think it started till midnight.
I wonder how many people were like out in the Vegas sports books at midnight. Just
because usually those
doing
are closed
the bets
down
and watching the Ryder Cup.
Because they're closed. The TVs are on, but they usually don't take bets that late. So that's hilarious to go. But yeah, Ryder Cup's going on, and the Europeans are going to win again.
Europe's going to win again. Hey, go USA. Anyways, well, thank all you awesome people out there for listening. Once again, share us with your friends on our Facebook page, our Twitter, Podbean, all that stuff. If you want to, drop us some money on Patreon, that's cool too, through Podbean. We'll totally accept it, No, we will. I mean, we're not going to, beg and, send out the offering plate like churches, but, we got you. If you want to do it, out of the kindness of your heart, 10% of the tithe. Let's do it. Go with Jason. Anyways, thanks for listening. God bless you. God bless the troops, and God bless America.
Just rambling.